Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking your time out to listen to my speech. The purpose of our assignment was to research the month and year that we were born in, and to find interesting facts and events that may have taken place. Um, I was born on July 18th, 1990, as you all know. In the month of July, in the year 1990, there were some great sports moments and historical U.S. events that had taken place, in which some may come to a surprise to you. Um, I will now list off these instances that occurred in the time period of July 1990. Some background information about July 1990. Um, when you go to get gas, prices were only around $1.34 per gallon, which obviously is $1.40 or so cents less than what we're paying right now. The top song was "Step by Step" by New Kids on the Block, which I can honestly say I've never actually listened to. Um, Burger King issued their first kids meal, which is pretty crazy to think about. We've had kids meals, well, at least for me, I've had them my entire life, and I know that they've just always been around. And you ever thought that randomly, just in one year, they would just come about. Um, the average income per house per year was just under 29,000 at 28,900, which is definitely a big difference compared to how I know a lot of us live and how much jobs you're starting at, and a lot of jobs when you get out of college you're making $30,000 to $50,000 if you're lucky, obviously. Um, a stamp would only cost you a quarter. Cheers was the number one TV show, and the Die Hard 2 had just came out. Some great sports events that took place. The 11th U.S. Senior Open occurred, and Lee Trevino won it. And New York Yankees pitcher Andy Hawkins throws a no-hitter, and he actually loses. Scores 4-0. Which, I mean, a no-hitter, you don't give up any hits, but obviously there's errors that occurred, so I'm assuming that's how they scored their runs. Um, Helmetless bike riding was finally legal in Victoria, Australia. Um, the 97th Women's Wimbledon occurred, as well as the 104th Men's Wimbledon. Um, Germany won in the 14th World Cup of Soccer, and legendary baseball player Pete Rose was sentenced for tax evasion. Some U.S. historical events that took place. Independence Day, which obviously is July 4th, occurred on a Wednesday in July of 1990. Recession also began. Um, the 16th G7 summit was held in Houston. Um, President Bush, obviously the father of the one we had previously in 2004, uh, signed the Americans with Disabilities Act. Um, the New York City police arrested Dartman. The U.S. won't take sides in the Iraq-Kuwait dispute at that time, and also the big blackouts that occurred in Chicago happened in July of 1990. In conclusion, there were many great things that had occurred in the month and year of July 1990. The prices of things were much cheaper in comparison to how they are now. A stamp only costed you a quarter, and gas prices were only that of $1.34. And then there were, great sports feats, such as a pitcher actually throwing a no-hitter and losing in the same game, which he lost 4-0. Not being able to wasn't able to get the win. Germany obviously won the 14th World Cup, which is pretty significant because the World Cup only comes around every 4 years, I believe, just like the Olympics. Um, Also occurring in the great month and year of July 1990 were some pretty significant things that happened here in the United States. in which the Americans Disability Act was designed to protect our disabled Americans from discrimination, and as well as the major blackouts that occurred in Chicago, which we all learned about in high school. As for my sources that I use for this, I used HistoryOrb.com and TodayInSports.com, which seemed not like the greatest site sources in the world, but I just used those as a reference basically, and I looked up all the dates that they gave me for the things that are included in my speech, and I looked up articles to make sure that it happened on that date and it happened in the right time period through different articles on the New York Times website. So that completes my speech. Thank you for listening.